Hello, professionals. My name is Rico Aladdin, and I'm the founder of Professional Lunch. We are continuing our student series today, and this is the fourth episode. And we have Michael and Jared here for another episode of Professional Lunch. And today we're going to talk about I-corp. I don't even know what that is. So they're going to help me understand what that is in just a moment. But first, let's get to know them. Guys, introduce yourself for the Professional Lunch audience. Michael, you go first.
All right. Well, hello, I'm Michael Russell. I'm an innovator outreach specialist for the I-corp hub here in the Great Plains region. And so I can give you a little bit of background about myself. I've worked for NDSU since I graduated here. I have a strategic communications background. But so my role with I-corp is I help with recruiting and finding members of our community, our research community, to go through our program.
Wonderful. Jared?
Yes, I'm Jared Heineman. I'm the Assistant Director of a Great Plains I-corp here in Fargo. My background, I come from technology. I actually ran a SaaS model tech business for 5 years before kind of getting recruited more into this role, where now I'm helping build this program and hopefully train other faculty and researchers on how to build a business.
Wonderful. So what is the I-corp program?
Yeah, so the I-corp program really exists to help researchers and faculty within a university system dive into the technology that they're building and figure out, is there a market for this? What we really care about is not as much about what your technology does, but more so who and why would customers use this technology? And so they go out into the market and they're asking questions about the customer's needs without trying to sell their technology to them.
Wonderful. Michael, anything you want to add to that?
I would say that that sums it up pretty well, but it's really, giving researchers in our different universities like an experiential or like an experience where they go out and do the actual customer discovery to learn.
Okay. For some reason I thought that was a student organization. Is it?
No, it is not a student organization. So we're
Okay.
actually funded through the NSF on a grant.
Okay. So if a student is interested in joining this program, how do they do that?
Yeah, so if a student, it's really aimed more so at graduate students who are conducting research. And we look for teams of 3 that include a graduate student, a faculty member who's like the technical lead for the team, and then we also try to pair them with an industry mentor. And they can apply for our program through our website, or they can reach out to Jared or I for more information. And it's like a 5-week training program where they go through, learn about customer discovery, go out and conduct interviews, and really learn how their research could become commercialized.
Okay. Jared, anything you want to add to that?
No, Michael nailed it there.
Okay, so how is this program being funded?
Yeah, so we're funded through the National Science Foundation. And so we're currently on a 5-year grant. And what we're set up to do here is we're set up to serve our Great Plains region. What I would say is if you look at a map, it's from North Dakota to Wyoming to Omaha and up is kind of our territory. And so we have universities that are part of our territory. And we're funded by the National Science Foundation to help train universities within our territory and help train faculty and researchers within that area.
Wonderful.
And
And Michael, I see you are trying to say something. Sorry.
yeah, well, for funding too, I mean, there are options for teams that go through our program to get funding to help them with this process. So our program is free for students and faculty, anybody who goes through it. I mean, there's no charge to it. And at the regional level, which is what we are, teams can qualify for $1,000 grant towards doing their customer discovery. And so that's for, whether that's going to a conference to do their interviews, getting LinkedIn Premium to help them connect with who they'd interview with. But our program also is kind of a pipeline to the national level. And at that national program, teams can qualify for a $50,000 grant to help with that customer discovery. And so it's really the bigger scale for them to really go out, do the research, get an understanding of who might want to use their product, use their research.
Mm-hmm. And a big
Wow,
part,
okay,
a
go
big
ahead.
part of our program too, a big part of it is a lot of people coming to our program with a hypothesis on what their technology is going to do or who it's going to serve. And, throughout the 6-week program, they'll end up pivoting multiple times to end up with a better market that they can go into versus when they come into our program saying everybody's my customer or all of these people are my customer. They'll nail down the exact target market to hit the ground with. And they come out with a more fine-tuned model after our program.
Wonderful. So earlier I asked if it is a student organization. Obviously, student can get involved. So walk me through the process. If a couple of students want to get involved, what would they have to do first, second, and third?
I would say the first step is to have some sort of idea, some sort of project or research that they want to create or are already working on creating. So whether that's, research that they're doing, it would probably be research that they're doing at NDSU. Ideally, we would like them to have worked with NDSU's tech transfer office. If they have an invention or something new, and they're working at NDSU, they should work with the tech transfer office just because they're a wonderful resource to them. But then with that, they can come to us and say like, hey, this is an idea I've been working on. I'm interested in doing more with it. From there, we can either help pair them with a faculty member. A lot of times when students are doing research already, though, they do have a faculty advisor of some sort. And so really it's come to us if you want to learn more about how you can, flesh out your market.
Yeah, and another cool piece of it too is, it's all virtual, all of our trainings are on Zoom. So you're working side by side with people from University of Wyoming or SDSU. You're working from different universities across the Great Plains. So it's kind of a cool networking / connecting piece that happens within our program, where if you want to, you're meeting people outside of your current university, which is a really unique place to, at a younger age, be, meeting people.
Wonderful. And yeah, so I'm really big on networking and connections. So this is really good. Can you share, both of you can go at this, as you please, but can you share some of the success that I-corp has had in so far?
Mike, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so I would say that we're still pretty new. We started in January, and so for our level, we're still, a lot of teams that have gone through us are still in that, idea formation side of things. But it's been really wonderful to see we're currently on our third cohort, to see how the teams have learned and grow as they go through, our 5-week program, just because they do pivot. They're saying, like, some teams will come into the program saying, okay, this is my market. I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to sell it to these people, and then they come out of it and are like, I had no idea that this whole other group of people could be interested in our product. And so they really have a much better idea of who they can go to. We have had a couple teams interview for the national level too. And so we're excited to see some teams actually qualify and go through that national program.
Yeah, and I would say it's interesting because in our program, success is measured in a lot of different ways, kind of like Michael was stating. Success could be somebody coming to the program and just now having a better understanding of what it looks like to build a business or understand customers' needs. Or success could be them, accessing $500,000 in funding through venture capital, angel, SBIR, different grant programs. There could be a lot of ways their success measured here. So for us, the future capital side of things take a little more time to come to fruition. And because we've only been running cohorts since, March of this year, I think we're going to see those successes come probably this fall, if not early next spring. But the lessons learned have been incredible for our teams. And on top of us too, just from a hub, I feel like our teaching, our instructing, everything has become so much more fine-tuned that our teams are getting a lot out of our sessions now.
And I would,
Wonderful. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I would also add on the national level, I mean, which has been going on for a few years, over 1,000 startups have come to fruition through the national program, with over like $1 billion of funding raised for those different startups. And so it's really, yeah. So it's really, setting up these teams for success when they're looking for that funding in the future, because they've done the customer discovery and essentially de-risked their product or, the investment. And so it really sets them up. It's kind of a resume builder, sets them up for success.
Okay. So where you said you started your first cohort in March, where is the first cohort now?